Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy pre holiday Thursday. I know everybody's busy, so I very much appreciate joining us. And Taylor is here ready to go. And today we will be talking about the serums, the climate smart serums. So here we go. Hello, Taylor. How are you?
Hi, I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. And
Good.
we have already, as you can see, a couple of our Poor More family join us. Hello,
Yes.
Jen.
Hello,
Hello, Jen.
everyone. Thank you guys so much for joining.
Yes. Hello, Lisa and Lara. It's so wonderful having everybody here. And today it's
Yes.
exciting because we're going to talk about the serums. Ooh,
Yes. Step two. Very excited.
you.
Yes. So, as we just mentioned, serums are step two of our three-step climate smart system. And we do have three different serums, the white, black, and blue. So my question for you is, what makes the Pore Moss serums stand out amongst other things on the market? What makes them so special?
What makes them so special is that they are formulated to perform in a certain humidity level. And
Mhm.
we have three different serums.
Yes.
And one is, which one? This one is for mild. And mild is actually the one that goes in the middle. It's when it's perfect outside, when it is
Mhm.
kind of like plenty of humidity, but not too much. It doesn't bother us. It feels so
Right.
good.
Yeah.
And then we have the one where the humidity starts not to feel that good anymore. Now it feels like, very humid, um,
Right. Mhm.
and uncomfortable hot. And,
Mhm.
your skin, there's a lot of issues when humidity is high. And this
Mhm.
serum is specifically made to perform its anti-aging power there, but also help the skin to manage this high humidity much better than without it. And then
Yeah.
we have our black serum that is specifically made for dry environment, because the lack of humidity is a complete different challenge and problem for the skin. And that
Mhm.
makes us unique, that they are made for the climate.
I love that. That's perfect because, as we've mentioned before, climate is the number one thing that does affect your skin the most. So having even each step of the climate smart system be very specific to your climate is it's exactly what our skin needs.
Exactly, exactly. And we find ourselves, in different environments. So
Mhm.
during the different season,
Mhm.
especially, when you live in the Midwest, you live in the Northeast, you really go through four distinct seasons. And if you live in Southern California, where I am, look at this, I have a T-shirt on,
And I have
that is in December. Hello, California. And but it's so dry now. It is
Mhm.
below 20% humidity, which is really unhealthy dryness that we have. And everybody is saying, we're worried about fire danger now because of the winds and the dryness. um,
Mhm.
so that's what we have in California. But then when you're in a very cold environment, that's also very dry air, mountain
Mhm.
air, very dry air. And then if you were in the south, you
Mhm.
have, in the moment, probably more milder condition. But,
Mhm.
most of the year you have very humid condition. And
Oh
now you
yes,
have also
no.
very humid summers. Yeah.
Yes, the summers here. I live in Georgia. Oh my gosh, so sticky, and you can feel it as soon as you step outside. It's like something hit you. I'm
Yeah.
sure
Yeah.
our viewers and listeners that live in the South, they know the summers are very, very humid.
Exactly. And Taylor, this is so interesting. I
What's
just
that?
learned this recently too. There's an amazing book out. I don't know if we talked about this in one of our sessions already, but it is it's a scientific story about the evolution
Mhm.
of the human race, of
Mhm.
how all human life started in Africa.
Mhm.
And it started in the Sahara, like in the African dry environment.
Mhm.
And actually, our skin became smarter before our brain. And so the ability to cool our body, which is sweating within the skin, actually allowed us as human to hunt day and night, because most
Wow.
animals had to rest during the day because it was
Mhm.
so hot. Their,
Right.
their skin doesn't allow them to run really very fast. And it was just, so they rest more during the day, and then
Mhm.
their hunting and eating was at night. And it's proven that, humans were kind of the same until the
Mhm.
skin became smarter.
Oh,
And
wow.
then,
Huh.
that's was our evolution, started in Africa, human life. And
Mhm.
today we are by far, the most, we rule the planet. We are
Mhm.
the number one predator that is out there, the
Mhm.
humankind. And we didn't start out like this. And it's because of our skin. I think it's so
Wow.
super smart. One of the scientists sent me that book.
Mhm.
Because, in many ways, Pour More Climate Smart Skincare is based on evolutionary biology of
Mhm.
how we adapt to environments. We used to adapt very slow. Now, millions and millions of years later, human skin adapts so quickly that
Mhm.
even within a day, the most outer layer, that's why we have day creams with the weather, that
Mhm.
you should change them because your skin starts biochemically reacting to the environment and protect
Wow.
itself and everything else. So
Wow.
this whole thing has a purpose, Taylor, because we started out in Africa.
Mhm.
Our cooling system,
Mhm.
sweating, is made for dry environments, not for humid. So when we are in a dry environment, the dry air comes in, the heat, we start
Mhm.
sweating, but the sweat never comes to the surface. It cools us down already. So that's why
Mhm.
a lot of people say in the desert, oh, I never sweat. Or the
Yeah.
desert, at 100 degrees feels like 85 or
Mhm.
87 because our skin is able to cool itself. In the high humidity is,
Mhm.
where we are not made for. If it's 100, it feels like 115. If it's
Yes.
90, very humid, it feels 10 to 15 degrees hotter. And that
Mhm.
sweat that is meant to cool down the skin gets trapped by
Oh.
that wet, humid air, and it
Mhm.
fails so
Mhm.
that's really, and we are now actually, the human skin is starting with, to adapt to the higher humidity and everything else, but
Mhm.
we're still struggling. It has not done yet. So our all human skin, because all human life started in Africa, we all have an inner African in us. uh,
Mhm.
all human skin does better in a dry heat than in a humid heat.
Wow, that is very
Also,
interesting. And that's funny that you bring that up, the difference with sweating, because I went on a trip to Arizona. I believe it was Sedona. My husband and I went on this long, beautiful hike. And at the end of it, I was like, wait a second, I didn't break a sweat at all. And we looked at the temperature and it was like 90 something degrees. I was like, how is this possible? Because at home in Georgia, it'll be like 80 degrees and I'm like drenched. I need to change my shirt. So that's very interesting.
it's
Of it.
all you we our the human skin. And it's so interesting too that our skin became smarter before our brains. So we
I
were
know. That's
still,
crazy.
on four, we were still not standing up yet. And they believe today that the change in the skin, and now, being able to hunt day and night pretty much, and the way of how we could protect, like go, that made us stand up. It's that ability for the skin to sweat, this really effective way to cool our body, you know, in the single digits down. But
Wow.
again, it was made, it's really something going back to millions of years of how, to being human, and it hasn't
Mhm.
been updated for humidity. But that's
Mm.
why we have the blue serum. We're helping with this, with the humidity, because
Nice.
naturally, it doesn't work yet. Our body hasn't adapted to it.
That is crazy. It really is like the skin has a mind of its own. It has its own brain separate from our actual brain.
Yeah, and it's literally run by the brain as well. It's
Mhm.
such a smart thing that you bring up. So we always felt like the skin is only, like has receptors in it, and we found
Right.
them, already like 100 years ago, and we
Mhm.
thought, oh, that's how you get all the information. But today we know that all senses, your eyes, your brain, that actually the human body works with a prediction. So it's like
Mhm.
AI, artificial intelligence. There's a
Mhm.
lot of that the body kind of gets ready for the scenario. It doesn't wait for it. So like in the
Yeah.
winter, when we know it's cold outside, our skin is not waiting for you to go outside to the cold. It kind of starts
Mhm.
changing and protecting itself already before. That's
Yeah.
why artificial climates make only
Mhm.
so much sense, because the human is almost, smarter. Our senses are
Yeah.
smarter unconsciously of what we do consciously.
Very interesting. The
Yeah,
skin, just a whole deep dive on just the skin. It's so interesting to me.
the
But
skin is super interesting. Yeah.
yes, very. I think that's a good segue to my next question, which is, can you tell us how the serums cater to our different skin needs in the different climates? Like, what about, let's say, the ingredients in each of the three kind of make it fit for those different climates?
Yes, and that's an excellent question. And it goes with Jennifer's question of what about air condition and heater for skincare?
Oh,
And
that's
they have,
interesting.
of course, an effect too. They dry out the air more. And then heater, when you come out from a cold environment, now you go into a hot, and an overheated often feels for the skin. So the skin has to balance itself out. And pour more helps with all of this. And it's such a good question, Taylor, of how every formula does it. And
Mhm.
that's actually kind of the key to it. It's not one miracle ingredients,
Mhm.
which no ingredients, because it's not. I always preach this is not a medicine, drugs. It's not
Right.
allowed to do any by FDA, would have to go to FDA approval as a drug and everything else. So one ingredient can, in a skincare, not really do anything. But a smart formula can really help your external layers of the skin. And here's our
Mhm.
favorite thing of this, because as you can
Yes.
see, it doesn't have, it's up here. It can help the biochemistry and, to help it stay smooth and soft, and,
Mhm.
be able to, not enlarge the pores and everything else. So first of all, they have different textures.
Yeah.
So in in the black serum,
Mhm. I have mine here
is
as well.
very comfort. You can see it stays in. It's very comforting right away when you put it in the skin.
Oh.
Kind of putting on, like your coat, your
Mhm.
winter.
Yes.
So the serum, which is highly, highly potent, but already gives you that more comfort that you need in a dry environment. And
Mhm.
it will give you a shield against the dry air, because the dry air, what it does, it sucks out all the moisture. And what you want to do is you want to shield your skin and
Mhm.
lock in all the hydration and moisture, so it never, it stays smooth. And
Right.
that's what the black serum does. So that
Gotcha.
formula is also, what we
Hmm.
call the scientific form for it is film forming. It
Sounds
breathes, no
okay.
breakout and everything else, but it will already put a shield between you and that dry air that really, can cause real breakage to your skin. And then
Gotcha.
it gives you that comfort. So if you put it on, you feel it
Mhm.
immediately. And you
Yeah.
need to let it dry off a little bit before you start, putting the day cream to lock it in, because
Mhm.
every serum needs to be locked in, because it goes deeper into these upper layers. You can see there's two layers. There's this really very thin top layer, and then this is the skin barrier. So this goes a little bit deeper into the skin, starting to build, this barrier that Climate Smart does. So the oxidation doesn't break down your skin. As we have here the blue serum,
All right, let's pull up the blue serum for human conditions.
for humid condition is, very gel-like, and it immediately cools. So this feels immediately different when you put it right now. When you have the both, you put one here and one here. And if you at home have both serums, just test it with us. It's such a fun feeling of really feeling the difference in your skin and how it builds a different shield. So
Indeed.
now this builds a very lightweight shield in it, because what it wants is, it wants to just make sure that the humidity moves off, you have too much water in a humid environment. It's too moist. The air feels like heavy on you. So what the cooling does is to help the skin, the sweating, to stop the sweating as much as possible, help the skin to relax, and at the same time, that shield doesn't make that humidity settle on your skin. So it kind of, disencourages that humidity to stay on your skin, and so your skin stays more, you know, um, you know, dry in a humid environment, where it starts to become shiny and oily and all of that. We never want to say skin is dry, but what I'm trying to say, it gives it the matte, mateness, maybe the right word for it. So that is the difference. And then the mild one gives you that right in between, that you need. And in a mild environment, the skin, actually, the natural repair function are at its best, because the skin is not stressed by too much humidity, too hot, too dry. And so it really can focus on its own repair. And so the white serum is really made to optimize that repair. Now, where the skin is already repairing itself, we're giving it the vitamin C, the vitamin E, the vitamin A, the antioxidant, peptides, tripeptides, everything.
All the good things.
From anti-aging formulas. Go ahead and, and take full advantage of this environment, because it helps.
When I tell you, my hand is so soft, you guys. Oh my goodness. I feel an immediate difference. This is the hand I applied it on. This one, it feels like a bit rougher, like more textured. This is like, oh my gosh, so smooth like butter. It's crazy. Seriously, it's just amazing. And it's funny, I actually showed my mom Porma the other day, and she was like, oh, let me just test it on my hands. She did the exact same thing. I believe it was with the hydrating balancer and then the serum on top. And she was like, oh my gosh, Taylor, you have to take a picture. You have to show the CEO. This is amazing. She was like raving about it after literally like 3 minutes. I was like, yep, that's what all our customers say. They feel such an immediate difference and that their skin feels amazing. So it was really cool seeing it firsthand with my mom. She was like,
oh,
skincare has never done this for me. I was like,
thank you.
Nico, here's some products.
Yes, exactly. That is wonderful. Yeah. Now because it really, this is what skin should do. It should be soft, smooth. It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be, the hyperpigmentation. There's most of the time when we have brown spots and everything else, it's really not a disease, because if it's a disease and it comes from inside the body, then the dermatologist has to take care of it. There's nothing you can do with skincare. But the majority of time, it is really damage from too hot. It's outside damage. It's the pigments that are, in here, that make our skin colors, that just get damaged from the external environment. And you can clean it all up, because the skin repairs it all the time. We have a great question from Sherry. She's saying, I've been using the black serum. Is that right now for Minnesota? That's perfect for Minnesota. I heard today it's cold, but it gets warmer again. But warm is like the 40 and the 50s. And as I said before, we are born with a part of our brain that remembers all human development from when we started out in Africa millions and millions of years ago to where we are now. But it's not conscious. And so this is, why kids play, even if you never tell them, about war and anything else, they will take any stick and start, playing war
Playing
and so
around.
it's like
Yes.
literally, it's part of who we are. There's some things that, they made so interesting studies about it, Taylor, that are just rooted that we kind of, every child will go out and will, start building like, with blankets, kind of like, putting it over their head like a hut.
Mhm.
This is so ingrained in this is that we can't control it. This is,
Mhm.
the living through the human development that
Mhm.
as we are from children to adults and kind of coming from our brain. And so part of it, Sherry, is that your skin knows it's winter and it's cold,
Mhm.
so it will turn automatically a little bit drier because that's how skin prepare protects its organs and everything else. It takes a little bit of its resources toward inside the body. Well,
Mhm.
we know that drier skin is not pretty and causes all kinds of premature aging signs. And so
Mhm.
Formore helps the skin, the black serum, even if it's not, Minnesota cold yet, this is the right, serum for you. I know somebody's asking me what the name of the book is, and I will
That's
come
a good
back with
question.
it because I read it in German. So I'm going to look it up and let you know what it's called in English. There is something very smart out there, and that's where I, find what I want to read, and it's called Blink. Have you ever heard about it, Taylor? Blink,
It's
the
called
Blink list?
Blink? No, I have not.
It's an app, and what
Mhm.
they do is, and it's in German and in English,
Hmm.
and what they do is they review books, scientific
Okay.
books, business books,
Mhm.
all kinds. You can go in and say, I'm interested. It doesn't do fiction. So it's not like if
Okay.
you, if you, it's not a fiction. It's more of, what you are interested in,
Yeah.
self-help or, wellness. I mean, they have all
Okay,
kinds of,
cool.
but it's really for science. And then they introduce the book to you, and they give you what's called the Blink read. So they give
Mhm.
you for every chapter like one paragraph what it's about, and
Mhm.
you can see if you really are, so you get some kind of an idea what the book is about, and
Yeah.
then you can make a decision if you want to read it or not. And
Oh,
I
that's
love
nice.
that because just a summary, it really goes through the chapter. And sometimes you're like, oh, that book is not really going anywhere. I
Yeah.
had one good chapter, but, so that I can recommend that to everything. It's called Blink,
Mhm.
Blink.
Okay,
It's like
cool.
a green app. It has like a green color in the apps. But
Okay.
I will post and come back so you can post this for me, Taylor.
Okay, yeah.
What the name of the book is. It's super, super
Gotcha.
interesting. It's only
Yes.
one little chapter about the skin and how the
Mhm.
sweating and everything
Mhm.
else. It talks about the whole entire thing,
So
of
cool.
the evolution. But it's kind of like, it's not super scientific written.
Mhm.
It kind of gets boring, and it's kind of
Mhm.
like, teaching. It's
Mhm.
really written to engage you, like,
Cool.
wow, we are so cool, we humans, huh? you know
Very
we went through
interesting.
so much, and we have become such an amazing, unique species.
Totally. Yes.
It's just, we can turn everything around that maybe, we've gone down the wrong way. We will figure it out, and we'll be, and it's so interesting how we have become less aggressive too. We
Mhm.
are, the wars and everything was so much more horrible,
Mhm.
hundreds or thousands of years. We would just kill
Mhm.
everything that's in our way. And, and
Mhm.
now, we have become much more peaceful, and
Yes.
just evolve all the time. It's wonderful.
Super interesting. Yeah, definitely, send me the name of that book and I will post that for everyone.
Thank you.
I cannot stop feeling my hand. Something I was thinking about was, and this is a question I see from our customers, is are you choosing the correct serum? I know it's obviously climate based, but would you alter that based on like the type of skin you have? Like for example, dry skin or oily skin? Like for example, I would say pretty dry skin, but I'm using the blue serum right now. which I believe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, is for like more like oily skin, but I know all skin types could use it. Would you recommend kind of adapting based on more so climate, or does your actual skin type play a role in that as well?
Well, skin type is not a scientific thing. So it's not a
Okay.
medical term. As we don't know why the complexion turns oily or dry. When it's
Mhm.
medical, you have acne. That's you produce too much oil. That's
Mhm.
that's when you have when you have acne,
Mhm.
you have a skin condition.
Mhm.
90% of people don't have that, and it's really the environment, or it can be
Okay.
even lifestyle, food, smoking,
Yeah.
stress. But the climate is the number one driver. So when it's hot and
Mm.
humid, almost everybody gets oily skin and a shiny complexion, and their pores are stretching out. So it has to do, Taylor, that you're living in a humid environment, and you have
Gotcha.
lived a long time and maybe even born in Georgia in a humid environment. So your body, your brain, and everything remembers you in a humid environment. So it does
Right.
produce more oil because the
Mm.
skin is waterproof. And when it's getting humid, it produces more oil. We know that as a fact, that
Gotcha.
is a reaction to a humid environment. As a
Yeah.
reaction, and that every human have in a dry environment, is that we
Mhm.
produce less oil, which is very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I've seen a few customer clients. Well, I'm using this for, I live here and I'm using this, but I have dry skin. Should I switch? So the answer is essentially no. Stick with, whatever it says it's correct for your
Yeah.
climate.
And then the skin will start to balance itself out,
Okay,
and it
gotcha.
needs something different in the summer, hot, humid, than it does in
Mhm.
the winter. So
Right.
Dorothy just gave us a question. You want to take that one, Taylor?
Sure. Dorothy says, I am a subscriber in Minnesota and ran out of the black serum. I had a white serum left over, so using that now. When will the new subscription be shipped, or should I buy a black serum?
So, Dorothy, you do the right thing. But here's the good thing about Pour More. You can literally close it down because it's all in pump. It's not an open container, and you can use the white serum in the winter, in spring when it comes back. And I would recommend get another black serum and start using this in addition, because I think the next one you will get a white serum for it. I mean, what you could do is, and then you have an extra white serum, but you can use it on your chest. You can use it on your hands.
Mm.
The white serum is actually my favorite thing to put on my lips. And I think there is no better
I
uh,
want to try
um,
this.
and all Pour More, you don't have to be worried about, because it's all clean beauty.
Ooh.
So it's all safe. And yeah, put it
Oh,
up.
wow.
We have a special code for you, Dorothy. So you can save 25% today with S25.
Oh my
Get the
gosh.
black serum, because it's always good to have it extra anyway. And then again, you can use the serum on your chest, on your hands. You can be a little bit more generous with it. And the white serum, have you put it on your lip? It's just, and then your lipstick holds so much better. I don't have any
Hmm.
lipstick on today, but when I go on air and I put lipstick on, because otherwise you look so washed out on TV. Because normally I never have any really lipstick. It stays beautifully on, and you never have dry lips. It kind of really seals wonderful in the youthness. And I just think I got um, a text from Sarah. So, Dorothy, hold on. Your next shipment will be actually winter to spring, and she will get the black serum. Don't buy it. Take it all back. You get a black serum in your next shipment, and just go inside. So this is, our wonderful Sarah from customer service just looked you up. She listens in too, and she was saying you can, get your shipping day earlier. So let's take this off. Don't buy another serum. you will get it in your next one.
Awesome. It's funny that you mentioned putting the white serum on your lips because I was just thinking, gosh, my lips are so dry. I
Yeah.
don't, there is magic in this, I swear,
Yeah.
because my lips now, I'm like, wow,
It's
it feels like I just
the different kinds of hyaluronic acids. So all
oh,
three
okay.
products have three different types of hyaluronic acid: the small, the
Hmm.
medium, and the large.
Mhm.
Which they get depending what the humidity levels are. They are
Mhm.
used in a different way
Okay.
because the large weight hyaluronic acid
Mhm.
draws in humidity from the environment,
Mhm.
as the smaller one really draws it in from inside the body.
Gotcha.
So when that's why you have to be very careful when you buy a product with hyaluronic acid and it's not
Mhm.
climate smart. If it really has only large hyaluronic acid in it, it will, in a dry environment, it will try to find, humidity, will try to get hydration in. And when it can't, because it's too dry the air, it's going to
Yeah.
turn against your body, and then it will do extra transepidermal water loss. As
Oh.
when you do the smaller ones, it
Mhm.
kind of helps the larger one not go crazy. So this is
Yeah,
really,
makes sense.
pour more is done in an extraordinary laboratory in France, which is known for almost 100 years to do the most prestige skincare products that are out there in the European and Asian brands.
Yes,
And,
definitely.
and I have to tell you, this is, it's so, it would be very scary if you and I would start, creating products. So I
Mhm.
always tell everybody, I am only, giving the research from what exists in
Mhm.
medical research. So I help our team in France to more digging in on what research is happening. But we literally have like a team of, at least 8 scientists that,
Wow.
make these innovative formulas. Then they get tested. So that's why it takes, up to 5 to 10 years for
Oh,
formulas,
wow.
climate smart formulas to really come to the market,
Yeah,
because
makes sense.
you have to do all the rigorous testing. And once they are done, you can upgrade. We always upgrade the formulas, um,
Mhm.
as the ingredients, nothing ever stays the same. So
Mhm.
even the ingredients manufacturers, they update and make their products, the individual ingredients better. They need to be constantly updated. So the products
Right.
constantly go through testing, to updates, to everything else, but the base formula stays the same.
Gotcha.
It's
Makes sense.
just that, we want to make always sure that you get the best and the safest that is out in the market. So that's why, when people use creams that are 10 years old,
Mhm.
our research was done 10 years ago. They have to, it has to be updated as everything else.
Right. Makes
Everything
sense.
becomes better. Everything is more safer, especially in beauty.
Totally. That's amazing that it takes so long, honestly. So you guys know there's a lot of science and love and thought put into every single one of these products. You're not just throwing things on the shelves. You're really taking the time with this, which is amazing. And that's why everyone is raves about it. And that's why everyone says it works because, you're really putting that knowledge and science behind it and not just,
Yeah, it's
slapping ingredients
completely
together and
science.
calling it a day.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yeah, and
amazing.
we really changed the approach, Taylor, from making people believe that they get medicine. So talking about ingredients that are DNA and changing
Hmm.
the structure of your skin and things like that, because you're not allowed to. It's not medicine. What you
Right.
can do is to protect your skin from outside, which is really signs of aging, are mostly created by environmental stressors, not you age inside your body, but
Hmm.
we don't see that.
Right.
This outer layer, our protective layer, that gets beaten up from this way,
Mhm.
from outside. Not
Right.
and inside, that's what we call diseases. When they come and affect the outer layer, there's nothing that
Mhm.
skincare can do.
Yeah,
We
that
can
makes
go
sense.
from what comes from the external, And
Mhm.
then, we can today, biomimetic formulas, we can make them the smoothness, the flexibility, all of that. We can
Mhm.
help the skin. We can encourage the skin to repair and renew itself, And so, that's really what modern skincare. So we walk away completely from this, you know, which I call fake, which is, it's just not by regulations untrue,
Yeah.
because it's not allowed to be sold by FDA, and FDA is very, very, very strict. The drug
Yeah.
laws in the United States are the toughest, I think, in the entire world. So you
Wow.
very quickly a drug,
Mhm.
so cosmetics, that are staying there, they should be healthy for you. They should protect you from the environment. They should give
Mhm.
you a useful, healthy looking, radiant complexion. And then the complexion needs to renew itself all the time, the outer layer. And it should
Mhm.
encourage in a healthy way that, rejuvenation of the skin. And you want to have resilient skin. So you want to keep
Mhm.
a thick layer outside. As thicker this layer is,
Mhm.
as better your skin looks. So you don't want to take anything off.
Right.
So
Makes
we have a
total
great,
sense.
comment here from Lisa and a question. If you run out of the serum before your next shipment, is it okay to use a different serums you have on hand until the correct one for your climate arrives?
Hmm.
Absolutely. These are, all of them are good. They just maximize it better. But Lisa, what you can do is you can go into your portal, and you can change your shipping schedule and just have it come as soon as possible. And then, maybe sometimes, you use the, it should really last you for 3+ months. Let us know if there's a problem. But one way, you can get it always early with your shipment, even you use the day creams and the balancer a little bit later and store that, you can have your shipment arrive earlier.
Perfect. I love that. That the subscription is very. It's just like pour moi. It's for you. It's customizable. So I love that.
Yes. And I just saw this lovely comment from Jen. So white serum would be a good stocking gift to with chopped lips.
That's
Yes, it
funny.
is. It is a wonderful one. Yeah. Yeah,
So
that's
for
wonderful. And
immediate
now I'm
difference.
going to bring up the coupon code again, because here is how you can save on it. And that is use code S25 to
Mhm.
save on it. It takes 25% off, and we still have free shipping until the end of the year. So this
Amazing
is
deal, guys.
a great, they make fantastic gift. And the white serum is really, a basic one you always have around.
Mhm.
And we always forget that we have also our décolleté, our chest area
Mhm.
comes the summer, we show much more skin.
Mhm.
And so getting one of the little pumps on the skin, on our, on our décolleté, and then, as I said, always going up, the serum are wonderful for all your body. But I wanted to talk about this, Taylor, because I'm not sure if you know that. So the
What's that?
serum is step 2, and
Right.
it's the most potent of all our products, because a serum by itself has a
Mhm.
jelly base, and the base
Mhm.
of the serum can hold more active ingredient, up to 70%,
Oh
and
wow.
as a cream can
Mhm.
hold the least. Okay. And then
Oh.
the serum, can also go deeper into the skin, but because you can put in active ingredients that are
Mhm.
of a smaller molecule weight than a cream.
Mhm.
Cream needs a higher molecule weight. Um,
Gotcha.
so, or you have to encapsulate them, when you have a
Mhm.
smaller molecule. Okay. So the serums are very, very active and potent, and
Mhm.
a, get penetrated deeper into the skin, guess what? They escape and vanish if you do not lock them in with.
Oh.
So
Okay.
I know a lot of people say in the summer, I just use a serum.
Mm-hmm.
This is like throwing the money for the serum out of the window.
So don't do that.
Won't give you that all day protection, helping the skin get its repair function going. Like there's, that's that multi, functional job that every serum should do.
Mm-hmm.
And, serums are very busy and very active. So you want to, you don't want to put it in and 15 minutes later, most of the good stuff is out of the skin. So they
Right.
need to always locked in. They should dry down a little bit. So I always tell everything, you use the hydrating balancer, step one. If
Mm-hmm.
you use the serum right away, you really only need that little.
Very little. Yeah, little goes a long way, which is what a lot of our customers say, which is nice.
Right. And then I put it around my mouth. I put it around my eyes. I ran out of contacts, so I have to go and get new contacts. And I put it everywhere where I spread it out as well, but always make sure, like with every skincare product, to tap it in the skin. You don't need crazy apparatus that are too aggressive. When you
Mhm.
go to your esthetician every month or every quarter, that is
Mhm.
okay that they use apparatus. If you use it every day at home, you initially see an improvement, but then overall your skin starts to turn bad, or
Oh.
worse after you do this for a couple of months. And I
Huh, I
think
didn't
the
know that.
most famous example was this. Remember that electronic brush it
Mm.
started with a C. It was everywhere. The people would, clean this
Yes.
with it, and they would
Yeah.
show it. The
Mhm.
company shut down by itself because
Wow.
it was proven then if you use a electronic brush or a sonic brush every day to clean your skin, that it would actually contribute to all kinds of diseases, including
Wow.
taking the defense against the skin out. So this
Huh.
Clarisonic or whatever they are called, they
Yeah,
don't
that's
use
what
that
it was.
anymore because of that
Wow.
problem. That yes, if you go to an esthetician and they use apparatus to give you a deep cleaning, that's
Mhm.
one thing, but it's not a daily routine, for your
Right.
skin. So we want to always be careful, and the tapping by itself already does it. And then again, you want to have resilient skin.
That makes sense, and you read my mind because that was gonna be my next question. I know we've touched on that a bit, but a lot of people wanna know, am I applying this correctly? Do I rub? Do I smear? Do I pat? So that's good. So you recommend just fingertips?
Yeah, just tapping it a little bit in, and
Okay.
you feel immediately, and then it starts literally drying faster, the serum. At least I
Oh,
think so.
wow.
When the moment I start tapping it in a little bit, I give it a few seconds, and
Mhm.
then if it takes too long, I know I used too much. The skin
Mm.
didn't need that much because it is already balanced by itself, and that's how fast it works. And I
Wow,
just
very
saw
cool.
that Julie was asking what is the blue serum for, and the blue serum is our specialist for high humidity. So in high
Mhm.
humidity, the biggest problem is really stretched pores, because that humidity, that heavy air starts to pull on your pores. And then, you have all kinds of things settle in there, bacteria, dirt, sweat, salt, from the ocean, because even if you
Mhm.
don't go into the ocean, you have that sea breeze. So
Mm.
what you want to make sure is that you have the blue serum, that it has, helps the skin to turn around faster. So it doesn't really allow anything to settle. And then, helps the pores to stay tight. Because we are born with a pore size. So
Mhm.
you cannot make the claim that it makes pores smaller. So that's
Mhm.
impossible, but our pores get enlarged and it can help it to snap back, and then you don't see them anymore. They are not
Sense.
visible to the eyes. You don't have blackheads or whiteheads. That's really what the blue serum does. And then our blue serum has a algae active, very famous
Ooh,
algae active from Japan.
very cool.
In clinical studies, it has shown that when the sunlight becomes more intense,
Mhm.
the protection goes up. So the
Mm.
more skincare, even, we do not have SPF because that's a complete different technology, but they
Right.
are filled with European and Asian active ingredients known to protect from photo aging. Photo aging
Mhm.
is when the sunlight ages the skin, brown spots,
Yeah.
feathered complexion, so it has that sun protection. They have a lot of these active ingredients, and because in a high humidity, you are most likely close to a large body of water. In
Mhm.
Minneapolis, these are the 10,000 plus lakes. Actually, I think Minnesota has 11,000 plus
Oh,
lakes.
wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, no. So that's why
Impressive.
it's so humid in the summer. It's
Oh,
beautiful,
makes
and then
sense.
the
Yeah.
Mississippi starts there. So if you have rivers, lakes, the ocean, that
Mhm.
sunlight reflects on that water, and then
Right.
it becomes more intense. Or you have overcasted skies in a humid environment.
Mm.
It also works like a magnifying glass for that aging sunlight. So
Wow,
these
yeah.
are filled with it. So in the blue light, it has this algae known for clinical studies when you are living on the coast, which
Mm.
is, where you're most likely having high humidity,
Yeah.
uh, or you're living, in the summer around lakes and rivers, that it gives you that additional protection from photo aging and
Mm.
oxidative stress and from the sunlight. And then
Mhm.
the black serum has two ingredients, different active ingredients that are really known to help with sun protection in a desert environment. Again,
Oh.
intense sun, but
Mhm.
because in a desert, the way of how the sun is reflected
Mhm.
um, in a ground, in that brownish kind of whitish sand. It
Mhm.
goes from like a white to dark brown. That's the
Yeah.
sand colors, and snow is white kind of too. Uh,
Mhm.
it's a way of different reflexation, as if you have blue
Ooh,
and green from the ocean. So the light, the ocean water is clear, but
right.
because of the reflection of the sky, it gets
Mhm.
blue, and the way of how that translates into the light spectrum,
Mhm.
um, it reflects it differently. So there's
Okay.
different active ingredients of the reflection of light of where you are. That's why your location and the
Mhm.
environment in your location makes a huge difference of what you should really use. And then seasonally, it changes in your location.
Makes a lot of sense. Very cool. So does that mean, well, I guess let's answer. Let's see if we have a question here. Cheryl says, I am a senior citizen in Minnesota. I rarely go out in the elements. How does this region climate help me?
Well, that's because your skin doesn't know you never really hardly go out, and it knows it is in Minnesota and it is cold. So your skin still
Mhm.
naturally goes through the changes. And, that's what I was talking about it, Cheryl. It's your eyes,
Mhm.
it's your, knowledge, subliminally knowledge, because humans have all, we historically, in the millions of years of human evolution, the cold killed us more than the heat. Now, lately,
That's crazy.
with modern lifestyle, the last 100 years, we are dying more of heat strokes than of cold.
Wow.
But for the tens of millions or hundreds of millions of years of human evolution before, we died of cold more. So we have all kinds of mechanisms in our body that go in overgear when we know there's a cold environment outside or inside. It still starts to go. And then if you are inside in Minnesota, means there's the heating. You definitely are in a dry
Sure.
environment. And I know we have these humidifiers, but the
Mhm.
humidifiers, they are really effective for inhaling and giving you through your nose and through your
Mhm.
mouth. But the clinical studies have not shown that it helps with that the skin can actually hold on the humidity that it pumps out. So because they
Oh.
have
Hmm.
super micro small, and the way of how these are, I know they are, they're still working on them, and they are trying to bring them to and as we are becoming smarter in technology and sonic waves, and we bring a lot of what we do for space travel, because it's hugely dry in a
Mhm.
spaceship. What we learn there of trying to have more of a humid environment, bringing that to homes as we evolve.
Mhm.
But it's not figured out yet. So, this is the best way to keep your skin, even if you don't go that much outside. The black serum is definitely beneficial for you indoors too.
Hmm. Let's see. We've got a couple more questions here.
And we are coming to the end. So
Yes.
let's see where we have. Um, this is a great question. You want to take that one, Tyler?
Sure.
Taylor?
Sandy says, just use night cream by itself.
Well, and this is age related in some ways. I use all three-step in the morning and at night, and
Mhm.
I exchange the day cream with the night cream.
Right.
And I do the same thing for my hands. That's why this is, more of a weathered skin here, and then more of a, useful looking skin. It's decades. When you see them, you wouldn't believe that the same person has it, and it has given me a very useful complexion too, in my face. So I do it. But Taylor, who is still so young and beautiful, for her, because you don't want to overdo skincare, and you
Right.
want to allow your body to keep up its natural hydration, moisturization function. I always tell, my daughter, who is 38 soon, and her friends, don't overdo skincare. I know you want to do it because everybody, the TikTok, the
Mhm.
social media, and it shows like 16 different
20
steps.
steps. Yes.
But what you do is you disencourage your normal moisturization function, and you start out getting all kinds of skin issues. That's why
Mhm.
young people have more issues with the skin than ever before, and we start to have more issue because we overdo it.
Mhm.
The body needs only very little help. It does need help, but in a normal way. So as we get older, we have thinner skin, so to put layers into your skin to help it work makes sense and is
Mhm.
beneficial. If you're young, you don't need that much yet, I would do the 3-step in the morning and then do the night cream at night. So you'll be over 40, 45. That's when I would start, doing the 3-step in the morning and in the evening. And if you are below 40, 45, the night cream is enough. If you are below 30, I would just use the day cream. You don't need all 3 steps yet.
Gotcha. Hope that helps, Sandy.
Here we go. That's what Jen is saying. She uses all 3 steps, morning and night.
There you go, Jan. You
Is
know exactly what to do.
exactly.
Lovely.
And we are saying, will there be cleansers coming out? Yes, we are coming out with a complete innovative way to cleansing, which has not been done yet. And we are working on this for quite a while because I really felt like, you don't need, like in this world now where we are, there's a million, gentle cleanser out there already. Pour More didn't have to come out with one more and, pollute the world with one more thing that is out there. But we needed to come out with something that really does give better cleansing, healthier skin, and a different approach to what we have done before, where you can see, a different approach to cleansing. And that is coming very soon, either 24 or early 25. And it will be something revolutionary to cleansing your skin.
Ooh, that's very exciting. I've been needing a good cleanser, so I'm very, very excited for when that comes out.
And we have Sandy asking here, do you use the serums with the day creams? Can I use it with my night creams? Yes, it's step 2. So step number 1, I let Taylor get through all the steps because she's an expert.
So step number 1 would be your hydrating balancer. That'll kind of just like prep your skin for the following steps after that. Step 2 would be your serum. And then step 3 to lock that all in would be your day cream. So yes, you do use the serum with the day cream. It's going to be that middle step 2 product.
Exactly. And then the day cream, this will be what we're going to talk about in 2 weeks, will be, that's really the one that you align to the weather. So step number 1 and step number 2 is really seasonal. And then, so you use the same every day. But when it comes to the really most surface to your skin, that's when you rotate the day creams by weather. And I will explain in detail next time of why that is, why it does make a difference, not just for your skin, but also how it keeps your SPF in place and all other good things to know. But today it's 6:00 and Taylor is needed by her beautiful children. I have to go. I know you guys have to go. We are so excited that you are joining our training session and are so interested in climate smart skincare and how to use it. I always say to everybody, we have the absolute best customers. We are family with them.
So loyal, so sweet. Everyone is just always so amazing. And I want to thank you guys so much for joining while I'm learning and you're learning. And hopefully we got to answer some of you guys' questions and I had fun.
Yes, I always have fun too. It's just wonderful. So I wish everybody a good night. Don't stress out too much. And I think it will be after the holidays. So I wish everybody a peaceful, joyful holiday. If you can't be with your loved ones, I know you think about them. I don't have my daughter with me. She's going to be in London. But I know she's going to have a wonderful time with her in-laws and her family there. I'm going to be actually this year in Arizona. My parents are coming in from Europe. And so we will celebrate in Arizona. Well, quick, how are you going to celebrate, Taylor?
That would be awesome. So I'm actually at my in-laws in Tennessee. And then I will go back to my parents' house. We're actually doing 2 Christmases, basically. So I'll go back there a day after Christmas. So it's fun.
Yeah, of course, more celebration. That's what it's all about to, think about, how blessed and how wonderful, life
Definitely.
is, even in the simplest terms, nothing ever works out the way we plan it. And, everybody carries, difficult things, nobody is accepted from it.
Yeah.
And so, but this is where we are together with
Hmm.
our loved ones and think
Yeah.
about our loved ones. So it's a wonderful time. So,
Yes.
happy holidays,
Yes. Happy
Merry
holidays,
Christmas,
everyone. Be
and
safe.
we see you in 2 weeks.
Yes. See you guys. Bye.